Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. Today I'm sharing with you my third alternative cards using the May 2024 Paper Pumpkin kit called The Best There Is. This kit creates a total of 9 greeting cards, 3 in these 3 different designs. If you would like to watch me unbox this kit and create these cards or see any of my other alternatives, you can click on the playlist and I'll link it up here in the top right corner. For today's alternative cards, I created 2 cards with the center focal point being that hexagon die from the coordinating Thanks and Beyond dies. So it's this die here that we're going to be using for both of the cards. I love how they have a similar layout, but 2 totally different looks. If you are new to Paper Pumpkin and are interested in getting your own monthly crafting kit, you can subscribe using the link in the description below. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any questions that you may have about Paper Pumpkin or Stampin' Up! Products. You can contact me through my email address, which is listed at the bottom of the description in every video. So to begin cutting the pieces from the kit for these cards, let's start with this dark Early Espresso wood grain piece. We're going to cut it to 4 1/8, and this is going to be that side that does not have the design on it. And then you're just going to hold on to this for another card. Let's go ahead and rotate it and cut it at 4 1/8 again. That's going to give us a square piece. And then place this off to the side. We'll use it on a future card. So this piece goes here for that card. From, I think it was card number 1, or the first set of alternative cards, we have this kind of crumb cake color left over. Let's go ahead and trim 1.5 inches off the side. There's a side that has the score line. Let's go ahead and trim it perpendicular to that. So 1.5 inches, which will give us a leftover piece of 3 inches. Okay, so the 3-inch piece goes off to the side. We're going to be using this one on our card, so we're going to trim off that score line at 4 1/8 inch. Okay, and you can throw that small piece away. So those 2 pieces we need for that card. For this one, we are going to rotate. We have a score line right here. So we kind of have like a small section on the right, and then we have a large section on the left. From that left piece, we're going to cut a piece that is 4 inches. And then, of course, save that extra piece. Great. We might need to pull in that paper trimmer again in just a minute, but let's go ahead and get started on this. We're going to begin by taking that hexagon die from the Thanks and Beyond dies, and we're going to cut out the shape from the center of our blue piece. Now I measured and made sure that this was right in the center, and after making it, I realized I wanted a little more space here at the bottom. So I'm just going to bump that up maybe 1/4 inch higher than original, so that I can have a little more weight at the bottom. To me, that's a little more visually appealing. So I'm going to make sure it's even on left and right and a little bigger on the bottom than the top. All right, so we've gone ahead and cut that out. You can see what that looks like. And we're going to pop this onto a card base, and I'm using thick basic white cardstock. And we're going to add it with some dimensionals to the back. And when we add it, we want it to be even borders on the left and right sides. And it actually will be even with the top and bottom of the card base. So I'm just going to stand it up so that it can easily be even. And then I just evenly space the edges. I hope you can see that okay. All right, so for the greeting, I'm using the With Love and Admiration stamp, and I'm going to stamp that in the Misty Moonlight ink. You can try to stamp it right into that space, but what you're going to miss is that little bit of edging, stitching detail around the die. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it on some basic white cardstock and then cut it out with the die. So something like this, and then cut it out with that die just right in the center. Okay, and we'll be right back. I should mention that I did bump up the text just a little bit so that the width is right in kind of that corner space. So it is a little bit higher. Then you're just going to take some liquid adhesive and you're just going to pop this right into this opening here. It should fit perfectly because it's cut with the exact same tool, okay? And then if you need to pop up this so that you get that little bit of space, you can do that. There we go. Okay, so that's a really fun look. And what we're going to do next is take the wild wheat foliage piece and we're going to cut it up into pieces. So let's take a look. This one also uses it. We're going to first trim this piece here, which is this piece, the tall piece. So that has, so if you're looking at it and they're pointing down instead of up, it's the one on the right because this one goes the opposite direction, okay? So we're gonna just cut off those three right there. So those top three, so cut right there. And then you're gonna separate this leaf from the other leaf and just try to do it in like a shape that is going to look natural. So let's go ahead and put that off to the side. And then for this one, we are going to use this tall piece here and this. So from the other side, so we just cut this side off. So this is the other side. We have this tall piece. Let's go ahead and just separate these three here at the top. So again, separating it. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then remove this piece to make it look natural. So just kind of round it off. So we have that piece. So we are going to use 1, 2 on the right. Go ahead and remove the one on the left. You're going to take the bigger one, so the one that has the two pieces, tuck that bottom piece into that bottom edge on the left, okay? And it's going to come out on the top. So we want it to go from the bottom to the top. So I'm going to add just a little bit of liquid glue there. Or you could use a glue dot, whatever you like. And then you're going to just pop that into that space. Okay, I'm going to press down to make sure it adheres. And then you have that extra piece. Oh no, did I lose it? There it is. And you're going to add a little liquid glue or a glue dot here. And that's actually going to be the one at the top. So go ahead and just slide that in. If you need to lift something up so that you can slide it in, you can. It goes right there. Just make sure that none of these pieces cover any of the words. Okay. So it's going to look like that. And then we're going to add one more piece. Let's see. It is the piece here on this side, I think. Let me double check. So yes, okay. So it's this piece here. So if they're both pointing up, what's left over on that circle, you're going to take the one on the right and just cut it off at the bottom. So it's going to look something like that. Okay. And you'll just add a little liquid and place it in the right bottom corner of that greeting. I'm going to slide something here to kind of help me. And then it goes underneath like that. Okay. You can really place them anywhere you want. This is just my suggestions. And then I did want another pop of color, so I'm going to use Pool Party. And I have this retired flower punch. It was a trio pack, definitely retired. If you have something like this, you can use that. If you have something that's different, like a die maybe, you could use that. What I'm looking for is just a small flower, okay? I also want to give it a little bit of definition. So I have my stylus from my Simply Scored tool. You could also use your Take a Pick tool stylus. I just can't find that attachment. So you're going to want to use the larger size and then something soft like this paper piercing mat. And you're just going to roll the stylus in the center of the flower, and it's going to make it become more three-dimensional. So I kind of love that look. And then you can take your Take a Pick tool, and we're going to add some glue dots actually first. So let's place some glue dots onto our card. So you can place them really wherever you want. I'm going to put this one up a little higher than I had it so I can see a little more of that foliage. And then this one just a little lower. And then I've got this one that's up near that one. Go ahead and remove the white paper backing. And then you can pick up your flowers and stick them right over those glue dots. And just remember to keep the flower away from the text. You don't want it to cover up the text. And then I also wanted to add a little bit of embellishment, and so I grabbed my iridescent pearls. You could also use the white dots that I used yesterday. I'm going to use the small ones and just stick those right in the center of each flower. I think that's just the perfect little touch to make that card maybe not so masculine, add a little bit of feminine to that if you wanted to send these out to different people and have more variety from the kit. The last thing that I added is just a little linen thread bow. If you don't want to add this, you don't have to. I thought it just added another nice touch to it. I have 12 inches of linen thread, and I'm just going to tie a bow. And then add another glue dot. And I'm going to place it near this leaf here. And my glue dot's actually a little bit on the big side for my bow. So I'm going to twirl it around and then drop it down just to make it a little smaller so I don't have just this sticky adhesive showing. And that card is all done. I love this card. It's super quick and simple. I love the little touch of kind of that depth that's created here. If you wanted to give that a little more depth, you can add some dimensionals that are closer to the edge to really make that pop. But it's just a fun card. Let's go ahead and move to card number 2. All right, to begin this card, we're going to take this square 4 1/8 piece, and just from one side, go ahead and tear to create a little white rough edge. So make sure to tear towards yourself so that you can see that white border. And then from that crumb cake piece, you're going to go ahead and do the same. Go ahead and tear to create that white border. Just like that. And then we're going to add these to our card base. And between the two pieces, we'll tuck in a little piece of Pool Party cardstock. This piece is just about 1 inch by 4 1/8, which is the same width as the others. So let's start with the larger piece. Make sure to make sure to place no adhesive at the top so that you can tuck in that Pool Party. And it's going to be a nice thin border. So it's like 1/16 of an inch. So keep that in mind as you're placing it on your card. Oh, there we go. smooth out the glue. Go ahead and tuck in your pool party piece, just making sure it's the right size. So that should go underneath, just like that. Don't place it too far underneath, because the goal is that it will help hide, like kind of help bridge the gap between the two pieces here. So it's just another little touch of color. If you want more of it to be shown, you can tear more off of the beige piece, totally up to you. And then let's add that beige piece on top. Keep in mind we have that same border all the way around. So once those are all in, smooth it all out with your bone folder if you used liquid glue. Okay, so it's a really fun look. It reminds me a little bit of like a river running through two lands. We're going to grab that blue piece that we cut out of our first card. We're going to add our wild wheat foliage at the top. Let's see, I'm just going to flip it so that little mark is at the top like I had it. And that goes there. You can use glue dots if you don't like the mess of liquid glue. And then it doesn't really matter which one you cut off here. Just you're going to trim one off from that circle and also add that with a glue dot or liquid glue and place that going off of the left side. So one's going up off the top right side, just like that, and one's going off the bottom left. Okay. So it looks a little messy, but I love how it kind of comes together. So let's not put this on our card quite yet. We'll let that dry. Let's do some stamping. So in the kit, there is this long banner shape. We're going to stamp right in the middle our Misty Moonlight greeting. And I'm going to just stamp that right in the center. I'm using You're the Best There Is. So try to get that as close to the center as you can, because we're going to trim off the edges. So you're going to pull in your paper trimmer and place the banner at the top, and then let's go ahead and trim at about a 1/2 inch on each side, and hopefully your greeting is in the center, and so you won't be trimming off any of your greeting. If by chance it's not quite centered, you can adjust the edges to be a little bit smaller if you need to. So we've got this square piece here, or I guess it's more of a rectangle. And what we're going to do is on the back, you're going to add a dimensional. Actually, I'm going to add some from the edge because then it's straight and I can go a little bigger. So place that straight edge right along the edge that we cut, just like so. And then you're going to remove, and you're going to add back your little banner shape, okay? And I added it so that it was close to the edge of the stitching. So I'm looking for that stitching and where it ends, and then I'm touching the edge with it. Okay, so what this is going to do is give us that 3-dimensional banner look that's really fun. Place another dimensional in the center. So I've got the dimensionals on that. We're going to put that off to this side, and we're going to add some twine or linen thread to the center to give it just another little touch of fun before we add our greeting. So right here in the middle, you can add a little bit of a glue dot for your linen thread to adhere to, and just place it in the center between those two pieces. And I have 12 inches of linen thread, and you're just going to wrap that back and forth to create that faux bow. And if you need more glue dots, you can, if it's, you know, if you need something for that twine to stick to. All right, so once that's in place, then you can go ahead and add your greeting. I'm just going to try to make sure it's nice and straight on there. Something like that. Okay, it's going to look like that. And on the back, you'll add some more dimensionals. So we've got lots of layers here. And that gets placed right in the center, just up a little higher. Try to make sure it goes on nice and straight, just like that. And your card is all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun card using some fun tips and techniques. If you're interested in getting written instructions or seeing close-up images on how to create these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. If you would like to subscribe to get your own paper pumpkin subscription, you can do so using the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.